Hello, I'm going to present how to solve equations, simple equations. This is a layer 1 of algebra related to equations. My daughter Anastasia, she's only 2 years and a half, and she already knows how to solve these equations. I'm kidding, she's trying to learn. Okay, so, yeah, okay. So what's going on here? It's very important to understand this principle, these rules. When you solve an equation, you have to know that the equal sign is the most important, is of utmost importance. Then the second rule, we have to isolate x in order to find its value, to separate it from whatever expression we have there. Another rule is that we have to do the operations in reverse order compared to arithmetic. And the third and the fourth rule is that we should use the inverse operations. For instance, if here we have an addition, we have to use the inverse operation and the subtraction. I'm going to solve these equations one by one. These are the most important types of equations, the simple ones I'm talking about. And let's try to solve this one. What do we have to do here? We have to isolate x equal something on the other side. How to isolate x? We have to get rid of this 3. This is an addition, so we are going to use the inverse operation here. Subtraction, we have to subtract, of course, the 3. Because of this important symbol, equality, we have to keep the equality and we have to subtract the same quantity on the other side. And this is going to happen like this. X, 3 minus 3 is nothing, equals 8 minus 3, which is 5. And this is the solution, x equals 5. We solved the first equation. Huh? What do you think? Nah, okay. Would you like to go and play with your friends? Okay, bye, bye. Okay, take a candy. Oh boy. Okay. All right. The second type of equations, we have a multiplication here. So it's 3x equals 15. How can we isolate the x? We have to get rid of this multiplication, this 3 number. So how can we do that? Using the inverse operation, the division. Okay, we divide by 3 on both sides, of course. And 3 cancels 3 here. So then we'll have this solution. X equals 15 divided by 3, which is 5. It's the same thing. All right. The third type of equations, it involves 2 operations here. We have multiplication and an addition. It could be a division and a subtraction. But what is important is I'm using here a general form of equations. Instead of using numbers, I'm using letters. Make it very algebraic. Ax plus b equals 0. That's the general format of a linear equation. It's called linear because x is to the power of 1. If we have x to the power of 2, for instance, that will be a quadratic equation. And there are other types of equations, but we are talking about the first level here, linear equations. So how to solve something like that? Generally, of course, I'm gonna make a particular case. Instead of using letters, I'm gonna put some numbers. Ax, for instance, will be, let's say, 3x plus, let's say, 2 equals 0. It could be any numbers here. The x is the unknown, we have to find it. We have to isolate, to separate x. We start in reverse order. In the arithmetic, for instance, the order of operations is either multiplication or division, and then addition or subtraction. In this case, we start on the other way around. We start to work on this addition. How to get rid of this 2, we subtract 2 here, and of course the same thing here. Then that means we are going to get 3x, nothing here, equals minus 2. 0 minus 2 is minus 2. Now we have a multiplication, 3 times x. How to isolate completely the x? Here we have to divide by 3. I'm going to write here, so 3x divided by 3 equals minus 2 divided by 3. It's very important that because of this symbol, we have to do it on both sides. Whatever we do on the left, we should do the same on the right. 3x divided by 3, of course, it's only x. And here we can leave it like that, minus 2 over 3. It's a fraction. That's the result of this equation. It's very important to understand again that what we need to do when we solve an equation is to isolate x on the left side, and on the other side we get some numbers. If we perform a few strategic moves here, and the idea is that if we see an addition, we are going to use an inverse operation, subtraction. If we see a subtraction, we do an addition. I'm going, just for the sake of it, to quickly create another equation here. So I'm going to make another kind of operation here. Instead of multiplication, instead of 8 times x, I'm going to make, let's say, 3 over x. Instead of addition, I'm going to make a subtraction. Minus 5 equals 0. What do we have to do here? First of all, using the reverse order rule, we take care of the subtraction. So we will add 5 in this case, and here also 5. The result will be 3 over x, nothing here, it's 5. Okay, now we have a division here. What do we have to do in order to isolate x? So we have to multiply with x, basically, to get rid of this denominator. We have to do it on the same way on this side, x. Now the x cancels itself. We are going to get a 3 here equals 5x. We can leave it like that. What do we need to do to isolate x on the other side? We'll have to divide in this case. It's the opposite of multiplication. Divide by 5. Cancel itself. Here also divide by 5. So the result will be x is 3 over 5. So we used a different similar type with 2 operations, but instead of multiplication and addition, we had a division and a subtraction. These are the rules, and this is the most important thing, because if we have something like 3x plus 9 and that's it, that's nothing, that's not an equation, that's just an algebraic expression. But if we say equals something, either other numbers or a simple 0, that's already an equation. So this is the most important symbol in equations, and this is important. It has been important, especially during the Roman Empire times. They really were very careful about equality, and that was in connection with justice. So they presented the goddess of justice, which I think her name was Themis, as a woman. They had statues all over the most important towns, cities in the Roman Empire. They had this statue in different courts, I guess, buildings with justice buildings. The statue, a woman with her eyes covered, with a sword in her hand, and with the weight balance and that represented the idea of equality, of even situation there, and they had a few words related to that. They said, Pereat mundi, fiat justitia, which means even if the world will perish, justice should be done. That shows these guys, they were really serious about justice. They didn't play jokes around that. Even if the world will perish, justice should be done. Or justice will be done. Anyway, that's the symbol of justice. That's the symbol of equality. That's even. So equations are very much connected to this symbol. I think that's it. In other videos we'll go further or on more complex equations to learn how to solve those. But these are the most important, 3 types here. And this is the general format anyway. Thank you.